potentially, like, what is your most iconic or favorite or shocking one more things? And if you don't know what that means, it essentially encompasses you're watching a showcase and then they're like, all right, it's been great to hang out with you guys and we hope you're looking forward to everything. But before we go, we have one more thing. And I want to say the preface of this maybe has to be that. You know, maybe they have to actually say one more thing instead of just the last thing shown. There was actually some things I almost put in this list, but I was like, you know, that was just kind of the last thing without saying it was the last thing, and that doesn't like have as much buildup when that happens. And this question, as I see C2 showed up just in the nick of time, this actually came from C2, where he asked a while ago, and it was because of the freaking recent Xbox game showcase, because their recent showcase and their one last thing was this.
But before we get into the direct, we have a final world premiere. Enjoy.
It was Call of Duty Black Ops 7. And this is crazy. This stream is even titled. They even added Call of Duty Black Ops 7 to this. That's horse tahookie. Oh, it's the Game Awards. Like, as if they know that's like going to be the most searched part, but it was just really, as C2 says, a hysterically, terribly bad one last thing. And so the 10 one last things that I have gathered for you today are 10 one last things that all 10 of these, maybe like I feel like something could have swapped in for number 10, but the only reason this first one is number 10 is because it actually was stated one last thing. Okay, it was actually stated one last thing. So number 10, I'll begin. Again, I'm kind of creating a very on-the-fly presentation here.
We do have one more thing. One of our industry's most celebrated developers has been hard at work in complete secrecy, building a brand new original world unlike anything they've done before.
So I won't play this. I won't play all of these and like relive everything, but this is the Game Awards 2024. And the reason this is like the last thing on the list, it's like easily number 10. You know, it's not any higher than number 10. And that's because this was such a crazy show. The Game Awards last year was like, in terms of reveals, the best show they've ever had. No question. And the tone of this trailer and like the slowness of it and so on, it just had this vibe. And it was just such a powerful way to close the show. Like, you think this was a show you literally could expect Half-Life 3 gonna happen. But they end the show with the next Naughty Dog game. I thought that was like, that just rounded this show out of just like, okay, you know what? Is this a hype thing? Is this an Uncharted 5? Is this The Last of Us Part 3? No. But still, it's the return of Naughty Dog. It's been a long time since we've had a new Naughty Dog game. And I thought it was pretty freaking cool to know, you know, finally something from PlayStation too. PlayStation giving such a massive reveal to the Game Awards instead of their own showcase. I thought that was pretty freaking cool. So, yeah, Interstellar, not Interstellar, Intergalactic, whatever. I thought that was, yeah. C2 was the last thing at SGF. This was the Game Awards 2024. And Slick Star mentions The Last of Us Part 2. I think that is a better one. But was that the last thing? I don't know. But anyway, so let me get to this next one. So yeah, that's my number 9. Or sorry, my number 10. But 9 onwards is where shit gets way better to me. like 10 is just kind of that preface it. And there's a lot of things that could have swapped 10 out. But 9 onwards to me is the rock solid shenanigans. And yes, Resident Evil 9, I see those watching live. Yes, that was to the last thing for the Summer Game Fest this year. Yeah. But my number 9, this is where things get really good.
We have a bit more to show you. So, please stick around until the very end.
So, and I forgot that was still turned down. This whole presentation, man, it's going to be hard. But yeah, so I believe this was September 2018. The Nintendo Direct for September 2018. It was a solid show. It was a good show. But Isabelle coming to Smash was the first big fake out Smash trailer, I feel. It began the whole idea of trailers that just, is this Smash Bros. Or is this the actual game or whatever? You watch this and you think like, oh my God, there's going to be a new Animal Crossing. That's all you could think during this. There's going to be a new Animal Crossing and such. But she mentions Villager like off somewhere and everything. And that's what I mean. And C2's like, oh, I remember this. People were hyped and pissed. Like, I just thought as a final thing of the show, it was a gotcha. That's why. It was a gotcha moment. And not only was she revealed for Smash Bros., it was a twofer. Like the Nintendo person said. It's like, hey, listen, you might want to stick around at the very end of this presentation. Because then you go to Tom Nook here, and he starts talking very slowly. And when this goes on, it's just like, oh, is Tom Nook coming to Smash too? Is Tom Nook going to be in Smash? No. They actually say, hey, we have a new Animal Crossing in development for 2019. Now, granted, it didn't make 2019, but still, for the time, that was crazy. I'm not even an Animal Crossing fan. And yet I put this in the list. Because I just recognized for the time, that was crazy. It was a fake out trailer for Isabelle coming to Super Smash Bros. And like echoed with freaking a new Animal Crossing game. I thought that was so cool. And I'm not even an Animal Crossing person. C2, if they didn't announce Animal Crossing here as well, this could go into top 10 worst people would lose their minds. I don't know. I mean, as usual, C2, I disagree with that. Like, I saw some people that were really excited about the Isabelle thing, and some people, yeah, that weren't. But I just thought, it's hard for me to read that, because admittedly, I loved it. I loved it so much. And again, I'm not even an Animal Crossing fan, but it was just such a cool fake out moment. And yeah. But number 8. This is where things get a little bit hard. Because I didn't want to put like one game in this list more than once. There's a caveat to that, but this game, I was like, there was honestly 2 times that this game had a great one last thing or one more thing moment. But after tossing and turning about it, I think I landed on the one that I prefer.
To close, let me leave you with one more quick look.
This was to the PlayStation 5, the last showcase before the PlayStation 5 came out. And this showcase was sick. It kicked off with the reveal of Final Fantasy 16. You got your first like major look at Miles Morales. You got to look at Harry Potter. It was a sick showcase to really make you feel excited for this coming generation of PlayStation. And they did a great job. They did a great job showing the games and big games that people will be excited about. And then Jim Ryan there just shows up. And this drops.
The time draws near.
Now, the thing about this is that it was expected, you know, like it wasn't like it was a big surprise. But God of War Ragnarok, it just like, it was like, oh my God, you're gonna close with this and tease it. That's sick. Like a sequel to your mascot, I arguably mascot. But the big thing wasn't the fact that they revealed it. I can freaking find my, again, I wish I could have made this better. It's coming 2021. That's not what I was expecting. I was expecting a teaser, but then they had this kick-ass showcase. Here's the games you could expect in like the first year, basically, of the PlayStation 5. Ideally, you know, is that going to be solid? No. And then they just end with, hey, 2021 next year, you're going to get the follow-up to God of War 2018, a masterpiece of a game. That was like, and I think that's why. The other one I almost put on here was the end of the I think it was the September State of Play in 2022, where they had the story trailer for God of War Ragnarok. And that is like one of my favorite trailers of all time. But if we're talking about like one last things, I think the teaser trailer to God of War Ragnarok, I think it's just a little bit more of a like, oh my God moment kind of a thing. So Slickstar says, yes, I remember this one. Yeah, oh my God, this next one. Listen, this list, I'm kind of being what I'm proud of. I'm being as like slightly biased, but also unbiased. Like I'm kind of balancing the two a little bit, not mostly or anything. But when I think on paper for the time, E3 2018. Yeah, E3 2018. That was a year I really looked forward to E3 because I was munching on things for Kingdom Hearts 3. I was hoping we would get a new trailer, see a new Disney World. But one show that I literally saw Kingdom Hearts YouTubers watching this showcase, and they were like, they just won. They just won E3. And you got to, again, put yourself for the time. Don't think of today, but put yourself back to the time, how it felt at the Bethesda E3 2018 press conference.
I just want to thank you all again, all of our fans here, everybody watching online, for all of your support over the years. It is so exciting to show you all that we have coming out this year, and it is an honor and a blessing to represent all of the incredible people at Bethesda Game Studios. We have 3 offices now.
Now, he doesn't exactly say one more thing, but he, as you can hear, he's clearly wrapping up the show. They just got done talking about some cool stuff, like I think they either revealed or showed Doom Eternal. I think they revealed Doom Eternal for the first time, gave us a lot of gameplay of Fallout 76, and it was not Fallout 76 because they focused the show around stuff that's coming within the next year or two. But at the end of the show here, Todd basically goes, he's like, and there's some stuff we got cooking for the future too. And I won't play the whole thing, but he starts off talking about like, for the future, we have a brand new, our first new RPG in 25 years. And they announce Starfield, okay? Now, Starfield alone wouldn't be enough. But for fans, you know, and I'm not, again, the Isabelle thing, I'm not a fan of Animal Crossing. I'm not a fan of Bethesda RPGs. But I can feel the hype off of other people, and that's something I'm so proud of about myself, is that I can feel how significant this moment is, and getting a new Bethesda RPG, the first new one, new IP in like 25 years, that's sick. But
we're also building toward the game after that. And it's the one you keep asking about.
You know. When freaking, they not only announced their first new RPG, but Elder Scrolls 6. And the show literally ended with this. Like, they had a nice show. It was a pretty gosh darn good show. But this these two back-to-back as their one last thing literally made people go, they just won E3 because of how crazy hype it was for the time. Again, for the time. A freaking sequel to what might have been the most successful game ever, you know? Again, not a Bethesda fan. Not a Bethesda fan, but I can recognize how significant that was. So, Alex, man, I wonder if they remember they did this reveal. They're aware. They're aware, and they can't have any comment. Next up is Summer Game Fest 2021. Yeah, Summer Game Fest 2021.
Okay, guys, now it's time for the grand finale to the show. This
really
is
quiet.
extremely special. Today, I am so deeply honored to be given the opportunity to share this.
I want to fast forward Jeff a little bit here because I will never forget Jeff towards the end of here. This phrase. Jeff has never done this.
It is finally time.
It is finally time. Dude. I honestly, I almost wish I kind of was just reacting to all of these moments because instead of just explaining all of them, I don't know, we could do that instead if you guys want, but does anybody remember what this is? It is finally time. Because fans were bugging him. They were bugging him and just like, hey, can you please show this at your show? And Supertone and C2. It was indeed Elden Ring. Elden Ring, people were foaming, man. And again, I'm not a From Software person. That's why I'm saying this list, I feel like I'm doing a good job just proving how I love hype for others. It doesn't have to be Halo or Kingdom Hearts for me to recognize and be excited about something. But Elden Ring, people were foaming, they were waiting, and it's like, is it finally time? This is the one? Is this the one? Ever since it was revealed in 2018. And then 2 years later, we finally get a look at the game at Summer Game Fest 2021. 3 years later. It was revealed in 2018. So 3 years later, we finally get to see gameplay. And as Jeff says, it is finally time to see From Software's first open world game. And not only that, kind of like God of War Ragnarok. What was really shocking is they gave a great trailer and a release date. That was wild. I knew that had to be in the list. There was no question. That had to be in this list. And yeah, C2, Elden Ring definitely makes the list. Yeah, no question. Alex, I bought a PS5 just to play this game. And it was going to be available for everything. That was the kind of other neat part. It's just you found out the release platforms. Oh, it's going to be on Xbox One, PS4, and Xbox Series and PS5. Great. So where does that take me? I'm losing track. How are we doing so far? What are you thinking? Oh, that's the bottom 6. That was 6 through 10. So now we're in what is my top 5. Oh, now we're in my top 5. Any guesses? At the pace I've been going and the things that I've been saying, do you have any guesses as to what could be in the top 5? I will not confirm or deny. I'm just curious if I can see if anybody can know what I might put. Based off of how it's been going so far. I'm not a fan of Animal Crossing, not a fan of Bethesda RPGs, not a fan of FromSoft. But at the time, I recognized, I'm just this is pretty sick. C2 thinks Smash is number 1. Smash Melee, Ultimate, Wii U. Alex Ramadoodle, I also have a terrible memory, so I have no idea. Yusuf says Zelda. Okay. Good guesses. Ultimate. Okay. Well, number 5 on my list, if I recall, this is from E3 2019. 2019? Yeah, 2019.
As for Nintendo Switch, we have more games in development beyond what we've shown you today. I'm looking forward to the day we can introduce them to you. Speaking of, before we end this direct, I actually have one more thing to show you. Thank you very much for watching. Until next time.
Does anybody remember what this was? Yeah. I passed out to this trailer, man. I almost passed out. I legitimately, when I saw the text at the end of this trailer, I flung, you could find the reaction on YouTube, I flung myself to the bed to prevent myself from getting hurt. Because Breath of the Wild was like my favorite open world game I've ever played at the time, hands down. And so when I saw this, it's just like, the tone's different. Is this DLC? Whatever. Again, you could watch the reaction. But this was already such this was a Nintendo Direct that was not the best. It was fine. It was good. It was okay, you know. But they had Banjo-Kazooie just suddenly show up at the end of it, already freaking me out. And then he just gets all cool. Speaking of, and then this shit plays. And I'll never forget that, man. The sequel to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is now in development. You should watch my reaction, because I legitimately started drooling and I almost passed out. That was one wild ass one more thing. So that is, and that's number 5. That's number 5. The thing that almost made me pass out is number 5. So what the hell would be above it?
But before we dive into the Direct, we've saved one more thing.
The most recent, aside from the Game Awards on this list, is the Xbox Game Showcase of 2024. And Zelda almost made me pass out. This got me to cry. Like, it has been so long since we have seen a Gears of War title. So long. 5 years, actually. I mean, I guess Gears of War Tactics in 2020. But Xbox just had, like, the best showcase, potentially, they've ever had. A lot of people say that it was. And after this amazing showcase with a freaking massive number of first-party titles and just partners and so on, they end the show with this nostalgic look, with Mad World playing in the background, with a super Unreal 5 rendered situation from the people that know Unreal 5, potentially the best in the industry besides Epic. And it's an adaptation to freaking E-Day. I'm getting goosebumps. I'm getting goosebumps as it goes on right now. I'm getting goosebumps. And seeing goddamn Dominic Santiago, Dom and Marcus back together again. That is something Gears fans will always love. And this is where my bias comes in for sure. You know, this is definitely a bit of a biased one. But I still think, just like big picture wise, this is how you close an Xbox showcase. Not put in Black Ops 7, Call of Duty, and be mainstream. This catered to your core fan base. Just like Nintendo ended with freaking Zelda. Just like PlayStation ended with God of War. You end with something that is iconic to your fans, and that's what makes a powerful one last thing to your showcase. And I hope they learned that this year, man, after that Call of Duty shenanigans. So that's number 4. Gears of War E-Day, Xbox Showcase 2024. Number 3 is the oldest entry in this list. So that's going to kind of narrow down what number 1 and 2 could be. But number 3 is the oldest entry of this list because I almost want to, like, let me know if you could think further back, but I almost feel like this made the One More Thing iconic. If I can play it.
Thanks for watching today. We'll leave you with one final update. I sense a new trailer approaching.
Oh my God, Reggie. I believe this was Nintendo Direct, September 2015. Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U. And Final Fantasy. I'm getting chills. I'm getting chills already. like, what does that mean? Is Cloud in the game? Are they adding Cloud? Like, this is a founding pillar. It's impossible. Impossible. Like, I know we had Sonic Snake from Konami and everything, but for the time, this was insane. And this, like, really ushered in how legendary a character trailer could be for Super Smash Bros. And again, Reggie closing that with, we want to leave you with one more thing. I don't know, maybe One More Thing was iconic before this, but I feel like this is like one of the most, at least for me, this is a founding pillar moment of One More Thing at a showcase of any kind. So, and again, I was a big Smash fan, not into Final Fantasy whatsoever, but I can recognize how significant this moment was. And like the goosebumps and whatnot. And plus, there's a little bit of a bonus where at the end of this, if I recall, they actually are like, hey, tune in to this. And that is where they revealed the final 2 characters, I believe. So that just, to me, that's just a legendary moment. Like, Cloud coming into Super Smash Bros. Is one of the most significant things ever. I would argue as significant as Steve, if not more. C2, I was going to say the Final Fantasy VII Remake trailer, but that was in the middle of the show. I thought of that too, C2. A lot of the things I thought of, turns out that they were like in the middle of shows. So yeah, this list was kind of tricky because I had to make sure and do my research and such. And Alex, Smash really is a love letter to gaming. It is. It really is. But number 2. Number 2, I don't think anybody can possibly foresee. Like, really? That's number 2?
Choose the games you want to play. There are worlds to be saved, heroes to be made, and legends to become. Together. Thanks, and have a great Easter.
So, he didn't say one more thing, but it literally cut him off as he was giving his closing speech. And for that, and the slow build up too, dude. Just CD, like, okay, this is CD Projekt Red, you know, and the build up to the next game from the peeps that have become legendary to people, dude. And this music, the slow build up, dude. Red, dude, I get goosebumps, man. Again, I have no association at all with CD Projekt Red, with Witcher 3. I don't. But I recognize, like, how much this was the Elden Ring before Elden Ring.
They voted my city
People were waiting. They were just like, hey, is this game gonna be a thing or not, you know? And then just out of nowhere, it just interrupts Phil Spencer's speech at what is, in my opinion, one of their top 3 presentations. I really do. I deem Xbox's E3 2018, 2021, and 2024 as their 3 best showcases they've ever had. And to what was already one of the best showcases they've ever had. And this is the year that they also announced all the acquisitions of new studios and such. Like, it was a banger show. And then they just end it by getting one of the most anticipated breadcrumb release games. I call it breadcrumb release when it's like people want any little detail. Hands down. Hands down. I can just recognize how crazy of a moment this was to finally get a proper look at Cyberpunk 2077. And again, I'm thinking for the time. I'm not thinking about what happened or blah, blah, blah. I'm thinking for the time. This was sick. Supertone, after going through the shows, my top picks are Elden Ring, Resident Evil 9, Monster Hunter Wilds. Solid picks. I'll tell you right now, when I was thinking of this list, all those picks came up. And as you already seen, Elden Ring happen, so. But C2, Cyberpunk is amazing. You've got to play Witcher 4 when it comes out. I don't know, man. It's just open world shenanigans and RPGs. Those are 2 genres that, like, I'm just kind of not that into right now. But I just think, like, even going through that, I could almost, like, if I was completely unbiased, I would potentially, like, put that at number 1. But
that's all for today's Nintendo Direct. Oh, well, actually, we have one more announcement. Please take a look at our last video for the day.
the dude on the left is one of the developers of Splatoon. This is March 2018 Nintendo Direct. And the guy on the left just got done talking about freaking Splatoon and all this DLC and so on coming in. And it's just like, oh, we got one more announcement after talking about Splatoon for like the past 5 or 10 minutes. And you then see the Splatoon characters fighting in this great cinematic. So, you know, oh, solid Nintendo Direct. Okay, that was fun. Oh, wow. Are they already teasing Splatoon 3? And if this is Smash, this don't count. It's my list. And I won't forget this shit because, as Alex said, I will never forget this trailer for as long as I live. Like, hold on. We need to live this moment. We need to live this moment. Hang on. This is so legendary. It's like, it slaps so hard. It slaps so hard. Like the intensity, you know how significant this is. This is one of those you had to be there moments in life where Super Smash Bros. For the Nintendo Switch just got revealed out of nowhere. And also, it's coming out this year. And they just ended the show with this. Like, I'm just going to play. They just ended with that. No answers whatsoever. It's just, it's going to come out in 2018. It's for the Nintendo Switch. See you later. That's it. Goodbye. Nothing else. And after everybody's just like, what? It's like, the speculation train goes nuts. Like, what does this mean? Is this a remake of Wii U? Is it a brand new game? Is it a reboot? Like, and they just called it Super Smash Brothers? Is this like what is this? Those silhouettes, that slap of the drum, the eyeball in Inkling, the gotcha, because we just got done talking about Splatoon. They had such a shocking moment of a, oh, and actually we have one more thing. And then they just leave. And then they just leave. They drop the mic and go. Now I can understand, it's like, but you already brought up Super Smash Bros. Before. I brought up Wii U and I brought up Ultimate. Correct. However, the Cloud was part of Wii U Smash Bros. And Isabelle, it was more so the fact that it was tied to Animal Crossing. Like, yes, the fake out trailer was the other half of it, but it was more so that it's like, wow, so we're not getting a new Animal Crossing game. But then they announced a new Animal Crossing. So I can understand that. And, if you think that's unfair, then knock Isabelle out and I'll bring up a few honorable mentions. But that was hands down. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate's first reveal trailer is hands down the greatest One More Thing I've ever seen, because it just happened. It dropped. See you later. No questions asked. And yeah, I just think there was no question that was going to be the top, as C2 said. As C2, there wasn't a doubt in my mind that this was number one. It simply has to be. And Alex, remember when we all zoomed in on the silhouettes to see the confirmed characters? Yeah. Again, it just kicked off the speculation train. The whole Smash Ultimate rollout, you just had to be there. Yeah. Yeah, man. Those are my top 10. Those are my top 10. Like, if I do a brief recall again. So, and now I can like zoom out on everything. So basically it is number 10. Oh, let me mute this. Number 10, the Game Awards 2024 with Intergalactic Prophet Heresy, whatever it's called. The Heretic Prophet. Number 10. Number 9, Nintendo Direct September 2018, the Isabelle / Animal Crossing reveal. PlayStation Showcase September 2020, God of War Ragnarok teaser for number 8. Number 7, the double whammy of Starfield and Elder Scrolls 6 at E3 2018 for Bethesda. That was number 7. Yeah, 10, 9, 8, 7. 6 is Summer Game Fest 2021, Elden Ring, It Is Finally Time. Number 5, Nintendo Direct June 2019, the sequel to Breath of the Wild. Number 4, this is the only one that it's like, some might be like, but I'm like, dude, this is my bias pick. This is probably my most biased pick of this whole list. Number 4 is the Xbox Showcase 2024, Gears of War E-Day. Number 3 is Nintendo Direct presentation. Let me get the date right. I don't have the date, but I think it was like November 2015. Cloud coming to Smash. Number 2, Xbox E3 2018. The reveal of Cyberpunk finally, fully in the flesh. And number 1, Nintendo Direct 2018, March, Super Smash Bros. Reveal. That would be my list of my absolute, like, craziest, like, most hype one last things. But I do have the list of my honorable mentions if you are curious. And if you think Smash is not eligible, then you can kick Isabelle out. And these are the things that could have took its place that I will reveal in just a moment. C2, I would have taken out the Isabelle and put in Spider-Man 1 reveal. Was that the one last thing for, I want to say E3 26? No, they had gameplay E3 2017. I looked into that because I don't think the 2016 show, Spider-Man came up. Like, okay, here, I'll show you. So this is my runner-up. These are my runner-ups. So here's the list. So, and I'll make this bigger for you. So I just kind of like was just thinking of like shows and whatnot. So from Xbox's side, Black Ops 7 lame. 2020, Fable. Fable was pretty cool. Like, I got pretty excited about Fable, and that came to mind, but I knew that wouldn't qualify. And so that's really it. Otherwise, Xbox pretty much, I put in the ones that came to mind. And I mentioned Black Ops 7 being the worst thing ever. PlayStation. Uncharted ended 2014. That was a pretty great one last thing. Days Gone ended what was the best in my opinion, the best PlayStation showcase there's ever been, E3 2016. But it wasn't the greatest one last thing. And then, yes, the Spider-Man gameplay ended 2017. But I don't know, like, I feel like that's why, as you see here, God of War Ragnarok, I was debating, like, the story trailer or the teaser. And I put the teaser because I think that first time reveal is a lot more of a legendary moment. When you're revealing the project and you know about it, I think that's much more impactful to me. So it's like, you know, if the Spider-Man thing was on my list, then I would have picked the story trailer for God of War. I would have done that. Astrobot. Astrobot was May of last year. However, it wasn't a one last thing. It was the last thing, but it wasn't like said as the last thing. And I believe Marvel Tokon was a similar situation. But they were both still super awesome reveals. Even if they were stated as the last thing, I don't think it would have made on my personal list. But yeah, Astrobot was a close one. Obviously, Elder Scrolls made the list. And then Nintendo, dude. Look at Nintendo. Look at Nintendo. They had a lot. But that's also because they're kind of like the founders of the one last thing. Yeah, Nintendo had a bunch that I almost considered. But Odyssey, Super Mario Odyssey, it wasn't kind of like Astrobot, you know, it just kind of showed up at the end. And it wasn't really a moment built up. Bayonetta 3 was pretty cool, and Thousand Year Door was a moment that I recognize as great for fans. Donkey Kong Bonanza, I freaked out. But I don't think they stated it either. It's like the thing about a one last thing to me is that it has to feel like a moment. It has to feel like, oh, they're clear, like Jeff. The reason Elden Ring made it in the list is because of Jeff. You know, Jeff was constantly asked, like, bring in Elden Ring, come on, please do it. And even he expresses the enthusiasm. It is finally time. And then the whole, like, Xbox E3 2018, where Phil just gets cut off by the glitching of his closing statement. It's stuff like that. I appreciate, like, the build-up. So some of the things on this list from Nintendo or other things, it's like, it didn't really make the list because there was the lack of the build-up, or maybe it just wasn't as hyped to me. Game Awards and Summer Game Fest, I'll just put these together. Game Awards, you see Mass Effect Will Continue. That was a biggie. Like, I actually, for a time, that was my number 10. That was actually my number 10. But something about Intergalactic, something about it just kind of clicked more with me. And I think that's just because the Mass Effect Will Continue. It wasn't, I think it was the connection. Like, Intergalactic, it was attached to what was a fantastic Game Awards in terms of reveals. And, like, ending with that reveal was awesome. But I think Mass Effect and Monster Hunter Wilds here, they just kind of felt a little bit, like, shoehorned in to me. And they didn't really feel like they fitted. So that's why I didn't really think of them. Same goes for Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Okay show and great last reveal, but it also kind of felt like, okay, we deserve this, though. We kind of deserve to know about this game. So, yeah. So, these are the things that I thought of. How many did I think of? If you're just joining, I went through my favorite reveals. So -1, 2, okay, 3, 4. So I thought of 28. I thought of 28 things for my list of my all-time favorite one last things. And again, if you're joining late, this was the list. Fun shit though, man. It was really good to go down memory lane with this. I think honestly, what I would like to do is just, I tried, but for some reason my hardware isn't working. But I wanted to export this and kind of run through it together. But I would love to just react to all these, man. That. Ugh. C2, my bias list, Marvel Tokon is at number 1, and I feel the same about Elder Scrolls 6 and Mass Effect will continue. Huge fans of both, hated both those announcements. Ooh. I didn't think Elder Scrolls 6 was shoehorned in. I mean, looking back, it feels like that, yeah, but at the moment, at the time, I didn't feel that way, but to each their own. Steffi, definitely my favorite moment was Uncharted 4 as a final thing. I was upset. Hi, Steffi, by the way. I was obsessed with that series back in the day. There's not many final announcements that I was personally anticipating. Very rare. Yeah. Like, there was a year I legitimately thought... No, I'm wrong. I legitimately thought for a hot second Kingdom Hearts 3 closed out the PlayStation showcase of E3 2018 or 2013, sorry. I really thought that was, but it was not what closed the show. And I was like, man, if that closed the show, that's on the list. Alex, whoa, why is Donkey Kong Bonanza so low? It's not low. I thought of it. Like, these are not ranked in order. These are just things I thought of, you know, and I had to figure out, like, I highlighted, if it was in green, that means like, okay, that has to get on the list. Yellow meant like, can that get in? Is there a way that gets in? And blue was just, I couldn't decide. I couldn't decide between these two, and I didn't want to put in both of them. But I knew one of them had to get in. So yeah, these aren't ranked. These are just what I thought of. But that's the first Donkey Kong in a decade plus. I thought of it. It made my thoughts. In fact, it got highlighted yellow. C2, I have every Uncharted, and I haven't played any of them yet. How dare you? Alex, in my opinion, Donkey Kong surpasses Animal Crossing every day of the week. In terms of what? In terms of like quality, impact, reveal? Reveal-wise. Okay. Reveal-wise, okay. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I was super hyped, but I don't know. I don't know. Just something about it. But yeah, that is my list. What do you think? What are some of yours? I would love to know. Yeah, because I tell you what, man. Nintendo, like if we have an overall, like if we have like a contest to see who got thought of the most, Xbox probably is in last place. Well, I guess Bethesda too. I mean, do we put them together? No, just Bethesda just had the one win, so Bethesda's last, so we'll say 6. And then, why not? So it was Bethesda, followed by Xbox. Oops, 5. Followed by, I'll give Jeff overall. I mean, maybe not. I don't know. Maybe that's separate. No, I'll keep them together. Jeff's shows between the Game Awards and Summer Game Fest. No Opening Night Live came to my mind. And I miscounted. 2's PlayStation. 4's Xbox. 5's Bethesda. 3's Game Awards. But number one by a landslide, man, was Nintendo. Like, second place was PlayStation with 7 that came to my mind. Nintendo had 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Nintendo came to my mind a lot, man. And it's just because they do a good job with their one last things, I feel. Like, Nintendo doesn't usually miss with their one last things. It's very powerful stuff. Oh, you don't have Ghost of Yotei in there. Not that I'd put that in the top 10 anyways. Yeah, the thing about... And this is where some bias comes in. The thing about Ghost of Yotei is... it kind of like Mass Effect, you know, kind of like Mass Effect will continue for Game Awards 2020. Ghost of Yotei, it felt like it was great. Don't get me wrong. This isn't like, I'm not downplaying it. Like, I have a video coming next week for Westside Otaku where I'm going to be like ranking every episode of Ouran, and I have a least category. And just because it's in least, that doesn't mean it was a bad episode. And that's what I feel about like the Mass Effect will continue, Ghost of Yotei. It's not that they were bad reveals. It's just, I feel like Mass Effect was kind of shoehorned in, and Yotei, it felt like it was obligated. Because in terms of the big first-party PlayStation players, they just were kind of absent at the time. Still kind of are. So it just felt like, oh, good, we are finally seeing what one of their peeps are doing, you know? And so it's like, it almost felt like that had to happen. At least, again, this is very much my opinion, so this is where like a biased opinion comes in. But just to me, it just, like, it was great, you know, it was good to see, and I think I did kind of pop off for it, but it also felt like we needed it, you know, like PlayStation needed to show what the hell is Santa Monica doing, what is Naughty Dog doing, what is freaking Sucker Punch doing, what are these studios of yours doing? So, anyway, Slickstar and Naughty Dog opening and closing PSX 2016. I need to look this up. Because if you're right, Naughty Dog opening and closing. Oh wait, I just need to look up PSX. Because if they... Oh, they did! Oh, dude, that's a shout. That's a shout, man. Like, ooh, I think this... Yeah, I think this kicks. Yeah, this probably kicks out. I'll roll with it for now. You know what? Maybe for the real, I can replace it. If I am going to make a real version of this, I actually might put this in. Because, yeah, this closing... But does he say one more thing?
So,
I miss PSX.
Love you too. Stay tuned to the show. We have an update. There's secret panels that we haven't announced yet, so clue into that. Download the app onto your phones so you can see where everything's happening. And now we've had some amazing content. The guys come up and came and shared that with you, but there's one more thing.
He said the thing, so it qualifies.
Special unveil we have for you tonight. The game is in early development, super early. Thank you.
Super early. So he said the thing, yeah. So this, I think this kicks Intergalactic. Like Naughty, at least it loses to another Naughty Dog. So, but even the crowd, man, the crowd. The crowd actually explodes just seeing that symbol because they know where that's from, dude. Yeah, this takes number 10. This takes number 10. Freaking, yeah. Yeah. What is this? PSX, PlayStation Experience 2016 Showcase. Sorry. The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, you got me. You got me, Slickstar. You took a spot from me that like I should have did my research and thought of that. However, I think another reason it wasn't so prominent of mind is because I didn't get to witness this. You know, I wasn't there live watching this show. I found out afterwards. But like if I think back, like what a thing to close a show with. What a thing to close a show. Absolutely. No question. Miyamoto revealing Zelda Twilight Princess. That's another good one, Giorgio. It's like it was mentioned, but it's kind of like this one, you know, where this should be in people's lists and everything. But the reason it wasn't first and foremost in my mind is because I didn't witness it live. I didn't really have too much knowledge of Last of Us at the time, and yeah, so it just wasn't first in front of my mind. And that Miyamoto reveal, it's like on paper, that's a huge one, but it just is so absent in my mind that like I don't feel I could put it on my list. This is just enough because I started actually actively watching showcases, I would say like 2015 onwards. Otherwise, I would just tune in after the shows. But 2015 onwards was when I really started to actually watch like presentations of sorts. So yeah, unless I actually watch the show or have it front of mind, I don't feel like I should put it on my list. But anyway, Alex Ramadoodle's second best Zelda. Yeah. I do want to see this though. Moto reveals Zelda. I want to see this. I want to witness this because again.
Thank you, Mr. Iwata. I hope you've all enjoyed our program this morning.
That's not it. Nintendo E3 2004. Oh, Satoru Iwata.
Mr. Iwata, world. Before you leave, I'd like you to step inside one more world for Nintendo GameCube.
Okay. It qualifies. Before you leave, I want you to step into one more world. And I admit, for the time, this trailer and this reveal was pretty crazy. Just a totally different tone for Zelda. Look at these character models. They're way more detailed. It just seems cool. And was this a first-time reveal? Have they teased the game before this?
Moto.
It just shows up.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Shigeru Miyamoto.
20 years, over 20 years ago, man. Over 20 years ago, my God. Wow. Yeah, I mean, that's cool, but it's too far back for my mind. You know, it's like, that's something that I feel like I would have to pull out of the history books instead of it being a personal thing to me. But that's just me. All right. Final few minutes here. Feel free to share more or any other things from this week or questions. Like, just give me another 5 minutes with you to close things out. Because I got my dad in town and I want to, like, see him and such. Sorry this has been kind of a weird presentation, by the way. I wanted to have this much more put together. But I didn't really know how we would go through this. Because it's just like, how do we do this? I feel like I could have just, like, talked, you know, but I wanted to have something to show and to kind of relive the moments. I don't know. That should be a thing. We just put together we put together a showcase that is only the One Last Things. It's just like trailer after trailer of One Last Things. But what's the one last thing to the One Last Things? That's funny. C2, Black Ops 7 is really in a league of its own for these. Yeah, it's that was just weird. Again, that's why I think the Gears of War one is like so high, because that's how you appeal. You appeal to your fan base instead of everybody. Because when you appeal to everyone, you reach no one. C2, I missed the Xbox price discussion at the beginning, but there's not much to discuss anyways. Yeah, I talked about that a little bit at the beginning, C2, and it's just unfortunate. My controversial note is Tom Warren was like, you know, these, and if you don't know what we're talking about, Xbox is up in the price of their consoles again, and it's not surprising. It's pretty stupid, but whatever. Tom Warren's like, this doesn't bode well for the Xbox Ally prices, and I'm like, I don't think those prices are going to change. In fact, it's not a benefit, but it's just kind of like an unfortunate, oh, look at that situation, that the consoles are not going to be that far off from the price of the Allies. Because the leaked prices was $599 and $899. And now that the Series X versions are actually like more expensive than the lesser Ally, it makes it seem more like they're all a family of systems, which I don't want to say is good, but you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, so I'm not happy about any of it, but it's like, oh, wow, look at that. These are all in the same price family of $500, but spread across so many. C2, I agree with Tom. There's a reason they haven't officially announced the price yet, and it can't be a good reason. That is very true. Yeah, like, hopefully it doesn't up the price, you know, but yeah, that's crazy. That would be crazy if they did that. Sup it up zoo. But next week is Tokyo Game Show week. I think I'm going to try to go live Monday, if able, to speculate a little bit about that. But yeah, we will, rumor has it, have a PlayStation State of Play. We're going to have an Xbox Tokyo Game Show thingy. And Kojima Presents. And whatever the hell else we'll get from Tokyo Game Show. So next week is going to be pretty fun, I will say. I'm pretty excited for next week. Yeah. C2, I also agree with what you said. They're increasing the price to make the new stuff look better in comparison. I don't know if that's the primary reason, C2, but it's like, it's a reason that I feel like makes business sense. You know, again, on the consumer side, it sucks, but on a business level, it's like, what if we had these all kind of mesh together? To keep making things complicated. Slick Star next week should be interesting. Do we see Persona 4 Reload or Reimagine or whatever it's called next week? All I want is Marvel Tokon characters next week. I feel like that's pretty like, if PlayStation has a State of Play next week, hands down there'll be a Marvel Tokon trailer. Right? The biggest rumor that I like, and again, hopefully there'll be time to talk about this next week. The biggest rumor that I am like head over heels for is the Xbox broadcast reveals Forza Horizon 6, which takes place in Japan. That's crazy. That's crazy that there could be a reveal of that level tucked in their 3 a.m. Pacific time show. But that's a crazy rumor going around, and like, it makes sense as, yeah, C2, it makes sense, but man, I would like, I'm gonna do my best to like, I don't think I'm gonna stream my reaction to it because I don't want spoilers, but I'm gonna try to record it when I wake up in the morning, and we'll see. We'll see. Finally, somebody got the soundtrack. That's how we need to close. Slickstar finally got the soundtrack. It is. The soundtrack that's been playing at the start of the stream, at the end of the stream, has been Astrobot. Slickstar, freaking MVP. Good shit. Supertone is also MVP because he was here the earliest, but good shit. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's Friday. I hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm currently playing Voidbreaker and Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, 2 awesome games. Watching My Hero Academia and One Piece. And yeah, I got some plans with a buddy of mine tomorrow. My dad's gonna be around. And yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming that I hope to accomplish well. And including on the content side. So and especially if you are an Ouran High School Host Club fan, I know my anime channel has basically been dead I don't post anything there, but I do have a fun video idea to honor, I should say, Oron's anime ending freaking 19 years ago or whatever it was. I'm going to do that Friday next week because that's the day it ended. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be kind of similar to today's stream, but a bit more fun, I think. So I will see you in that, as well as Tokyo Game Show on here, as well as hopefully if there's time, Twitch. We'll see. I thought I'd do a rematch stream there this coming week. And don't forget to be Geek Proud Awesome, and let me know any ideas that you have. Do anything. You could email me, you could tweet me if you're a patron and you want to support the channel. You could DM me there or hit me up on our Discord. I appreciate you so much for however you want to support me and my creative endeavors. Have a lovely weekend, y'all. Be geek, be proud. Be awesome.